Okay, welcome. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you for all of your love, your support. Thank you for joining me today. Um, if you watch me on a regular basis, you know that I have a lot on my plate, and so therefore, I don't get to do the weekly readings or anything as much as I would like, and I'm kind of going through a transitional phase, and I'm thinking, wow, it's eclipse season. Like, and it's so magical this year because we have three eclipses. Usually you have two eclipses for the season. You have the solar eclipse, then you would have the lunar eclipse. But this year we have the solar, well, we just had the solar eclipse. Then we'll have the lunar eclipse on July the 27th, I believe. And then come August the 11th, we will have another solar eclipse. And I thought, we're in such powerful energy this year. Being a collective 11 year, 2018, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8 is 11. So 11 is the justice card. 11 is bringing in the balance. The 11 is making the hard decisions, making the hard commitments, making the hard choices, giving 110%, walking and talking with integrity, acting with integrity, being committed to yourself, your dreams, your goals, and your desires. And when we can do these things, when we can focus on that energy and move ourselves in that direction, magical, beautiful successes that you can't even imagine can come out of this kind of energy. So this year has been a very magical year. We have other transits still coming in the mix for the year of magic entering our lives, these moments of magic. So, and a couple of things I've noticed about the energy. One is that the numerology for the day for July the 12th was a 3. And then I think for the lunar eclipse, it's a 9. So that, and nines are all about endings and completions. And then the new solar eclipse in August, forget the fact that it's on the 11th and we're in the 11 years, so it's a double 11 energy for us. But it also boils down to a 3 again. And the 3 is the Empress. So it is all about our new beginnings, our new starts, the birthing of an idea, a plan, a goal, a dream, a desire. Now, also the solar eclipse in August, the numerology is actually a 30, and you rarely get a 30 number or 30 energy for a daily. So the 30 energy alone, even the worst kind of things are beautiful, are magical, are wonderful. There's success sprinkled everywhere in your lives. It's a time to celebrate. It's a time to rejoice. It's a time to say, I've got this. It's a time to plant those new seeds and to grow forward. Tapping yourself into your creativity with the 30 energy, tapping yourself into the creativity, your self-expression will just take you to the next level. So it's really about being true with yourself, to yourself. So I thought I would do each of the signs, and I just kind of wanted to kind of give that front for everybody, so that when I do the eclipse season videos for you individually, now the sun, the moon, and the ascendant, you should be checking all three. Okay. The sun is your outward, your deepest goals in life, what's important to you, how people view you, how you want people to view you, your goals, your dreams, your desires, your outward world. The moon is your emotion. How do you express yourself? How do you respond to things emotionally? And where can you grow emotionally? Where can you strengthen yourself emotionally? And then the ascendant is relationships, partnerships. So you want to know all of that when you are looking at these eclipses, and you need to view them individually, yes, but you also need to view them as a collective energy because they're building up upon each other. So a solar eclipse is a time of new beginnings, new chapters, new starts, new visions of your tomorrows, planting the seeds. So that's a new moon. A full moon, and the energy will last up to 4 weeks. A full moon is a time for completion, endings, healing, seeing where we are, seeing where we want the new beginnings and what has held us back. And that energy will last up to 4 weeks. So, but a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse will last up to 6 months. Now, I think the Leo energy kind of supersedes the Cancer energy to some degree, because it is the final eclipse going forward before we hit the fall. So we have to look at all 3 areas and how we can walk towards our new beginnings, our new starts, our goals, our dreams, our desires, growing relationships deeper, traveling, education, groups and friends, our service to others, our destiny perhaps. What type of healing or closure do we need in our life? What kind of completion do we need? Learning more about ourselves. And I think the Cancer eclipse was a lot about learning a little bit about ourselves, knowing that we don't need to control everything. It was the sun and the moon opposing Pluto during this. So Pluto is the one that, Pluto, you have to ask yourself, how can I grow? How can I grow through deepening my own self-knowledge? Seeing where I react, seeing where I try and control, seeing where I might have a goal in mind, but it's not for the highest good. It has an underlying of manipulation or wanting to keep things the same, or stubborn, or jealousy might be driving my goal. Wanting to show off, wanting to let my ego shine instead of my heart shine. So where does that happen in my life? And I think throughout the course of the next 4 weeks, we'll be given glimpses of, now, why are you in the situation? And what is it trying to teach you about yourself? We come to the lunar eclipse. And that is more about groups and friends and social causes, humanitarian ideas, global awareness, and yes, ideas in general, inventive imagination, creativity. I think Mars is very close, if not exact, with this full moon. And so it's in retrograde. I would have to think that we are looking at how to go forward, of breaking through the wall, of knocking the wall down, so kind of watch your anger, back it up, think it out, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do. Don't let that knee-jerk reaction come through. Mars is always wanting to go forward. Mars is our warrior. And Pluto, Pluto was the Cancer. That's our inner warrior being awoken with Pluto retrograde. Mars retrograde, we are walking back over some of our steps, some of our actions, or lack of action. And so we need to analyze what didn't allow a closure in my life, what didn't allow an ending in my life. Where am I fighting that healing that could come into my life and open up new doors and new ways of looking at things, new perceptions. And then we have the Leo. solar eclipse. And we have that 11-11 energy. We've got that 30 energy. We've got the 3 energy of the Empress. Leo is our play. Leo is our romance. Leo is, getting up on that soapbox and saying, this is who I am and I love me for it. This is tapping into your creativity, sharing yourself through self-expression, creativity, recreation. But it's very much a me kind of energy. So throughout this solar eclipse to lunar eclipse and then back to the solar eclipse, and I failed to mention that Cancer, it was in our 4th house, right? That's family and home and heritage and foundations. So we'll probably be looking over the next couple of weeks, especially a little bit more towards our immediate home life, our family, our close friends, our allies, our close allies that we trust, that we lean on for support, that give us support, that give us encouragement. Our tribes, our clans, our foundations. And then it moves into more of a collective energy of groups of people, our humanitarianism, our social causes, our global awareness, and yes, our creativity and how we can use our creativity, our inventiveness in order to not only touch our life, our close family lives, but the collective. And then we move into Leo, which is that me center, that I am. That's the sun. It's ruled by the sun. Once again, what's our deepest goals? What's our deepest dreams? And how do we go forward? And we spent time contemplating home, family, foundations, groups, friends, global. And then we finally get to planting our seeds, which is our goals, our dreams, what we want in our life. So I'm going to do a reading for each of you, and stay tuned because it should, if I figure out how to edit properly, it should be coming on now. But in case I mess up, remember, I do love you. Welcome, Virgo. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly, and it is eclipse season. So really, this reading for you has already begun. July 12th was our first solar eclipse. July 27th is our lunar eclipse, and then we end with another solar eclipse, a triple eclipse season for us in Leo. So that is August the 11th, I believe. So let's turn to the cards and see how we can walk through this energy together in a positive light, making positive decisions for the surest step forward. We start with, look at this, the King of Cups appears. Now for you, it would have been the solar eclipse on July 12th would have been in your 11th house. So that is, groups and friends, your social causes, your global awareness, your ideas, your creativity, team play, your tribe, your clan, but just not the inner circle. And we have dear old dad sitting here, our stereotypical dad in the deck, saying, are you ready? What's your plan? What's your goal? Who surrounds you? Where are you going to live? How much money do you have? Are you getting enough sleep? Well, that's more of a mom thing. Dads don't care. Dad says, you're young enough, get out there and do it. You can handle it. When I was your age, And he does those things because he cares about you, and he knows that he is not going to be able to stand watch over you forever, that you need to experience your own independence and fall on your face on your own and learn the hard way. And he's trying to prepare you so that when you trip, you don't fall. So it is all about making the plan. It is all about understanding what we have as resources, what we have as opportunities, what we have as foundations in our life, things to be grateful for in the now. To take note of what we surround ourselves with and what we hold deep inside as treasure. And how to step out into the world and be successful and to be happy and to be balanced. Nine of Wands. So the eclipse is for you, yes. It'd be your 11th house. So then the lunar eclipse would be your 6th house. So it's your health and well-being and fitness, your acts of service. And then the solar eclipse will be, well, it would be in your 12th house for Leo. So it's allowing the true endings for the new beginnings. So that's why I had to stop and pause here, because this is allowing the endings of putting the past in the past. Those ones that are behind you are your past, the path that you have walked to this point in time. A new day is dawning. You pick up the next wand, and it's an accumulation of all of the past that you have walked. I get that story. It's more of a Jupiter story, but so I'll try and do it really quickly here, because these videos are extremely long for some reason. But young girl spins threads, makes ropes with her father. And one day the father comes and says, it's time to find you a husband. It's time to go on a travel, on a journey, and see who we meet. And find you somebody to live your happily ever after with. And so you set off, but there is a violent storm. And you're washed on shore, and you're taken, and you are being sold as a slave. And somebody sees you and says, you know, they look like a really nice person. I'm going to help them out because they'll probably have a better life with me than somebody else. And there's something about them. So she comes and she starts to work on making large poles. And masts for boats and ships. And one day, through the trades, pirates attack the ship and take her. And they put her to work at making the large and fixing the large sails. And she learns how to make new tarps and to mend tarps and to sew the tarps together so that the boat can sail. And one day again, a violent storm comes up and she finds herself washed on the shores of China. And she, at this point, says, oh my goodness, like, stop it already. Every time I think I'm getting somewhere, every time I find that I'm balanced, that, okay, I've accepted my life, this is where I am. And I start to enjoy myself and I start to make friends and everything is coming together. You go and you do this to me and I'm left alone again. And little known to her that there was a myth that one day a woman would wash ashore upon the beach and she would know how to build this great thing called a tent. And she would build one of the most marvelous tents in all the world and really add luxury to the kingdom. And so every day or every couple of days, the emperor would send out some scouts to see if this woman had appeared, and they come across her and they say, well, we have to take you to the emperor. And he says, do you know how to build such a thing? And she says, yes, I do. first we need some very heavy material. Do you have heavy material? And the Emperor says, no, we don't have anything like that. He says, well, I know how to make the material, so I need this, and I need this many workers, and we'll make the material. And when the material's all done, she says, okay, now I need some very long and large poles. Do you have any? And he goes, well, no, we don't have any use for anything like that. We don't know how to make anything like that. So she teaches them how to make these poles. And she goes, okay, all I need now is a bunch of ropes, strong ropes. Do you have some strong rope? No, we don't have anything like that here. And so she teaches them how to make strings and ropes. And at the end of it, she makes the most magnificent tent in the world, because she's really sailed the world and she's seen all these different forms of tents, and she puts together her own magical creation. And it's the most beautiful tent in all of the world. And the Emperor says, what can I do for you? This is beautiful. This is wonderful. And she says, well, I started out many years ago with my father to find a husband. I guess I would like to marry. And he says, marry me. And so she marries the Emperor and lives happily ever after. And so many times we're pushed into life on different paths, and we go, huh. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves on a new path, and we're like, oh my goodness. And this is now the accumulation. This is the time that you are ready to marry the Emperor, because you have gained your sage wisdom. You follow your intuition. You have talents and abilities galore. What do you bring to the table? Now, we're standing in the shadows, and that makes a lot of sense, because it is the solar eclipse will be your 12th house, and it's really allowing some deep healing, some true closure, completion in your life on different paths that you have walked, in order to pick up that brand new wand and go forward with a courage and a strength and a balance. And then we have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is once again putting your past behind you, knowing that there has been many incredible things in your life, but it's time to go forward. And that doesn't mean that we all run away from the life we live. We take our lessons, we take our wisdom forward, and we create the new out of two. So it's an expansion of your path. It's not so much a brand new path, so to speak, and it may feel like a brand new path, but it's an accumulation of different paths melting together. And this card is beckoning you to not stay in the past, not to keep leaning back on it, but going forward. Tapping into your spirituality, knowing that there's a whole world to breathe in and experience, and to open yourself up to those things through healing, through endings, through closure. Maybe through your service to humanity, or where you sacrifice yourself, your self-sacrifice that you give willingly. Maybe it's about finding out something about yourself, that unacknowledged part of yourself, or that repressed part of who you are, and seeing really what the gift was tied up in all that negativity. It's something that, somebody said once upon a time ago to you. Children are meant to be seen and not heard. You'll never amount to anything. Quit playing with that and get a real job. Those things stick with us. Those things subconsciously prevent us from actually moving forward. And realizing that your actions have been in part because of those words that were spoken to you once a long time ago. And your perception as a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 12-year-old or a 16-year-old is much different than a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old's or a 70-year-old's perception. Now, what is your new perception of what was said to you? What is the beauty you hold within? We have the Queen of Wands and the Ten of Swords for work, career. What beautiful energy mixed together for you. For work, career, your identity. what you stand for. If I meet you at a party, most of you will tell me about work and career, but some of you will tell me about your family, about what you do in the community, about your spirituality, about your health and well-being. Absolutely. This is knowing that you can go forward. This is knowing that you have walked through the fires, the chaos, the sorrow, the tears, that everything has been a learning experience. And to embrace your passion, your fire. The Leo solar eclipse is really strong in the fire energy. So this is picking yourself up, dusting yourself off and saying, okay, let's get down to business. Let's start. Let's move into those dreams, those goals, those wants, those desires. And I'm doing it for me and the love of who I have for myself, and knowing that I deserve and knowing that I am worthy. For love and relationships, so we got the Seven of Cups. I haven't seen the Seven of Cups in quite some time, with the Eight of Wands. If you're looking for a relationship, I would have to say be very casual in your meetings with people. And that's not to say that you're not meeting your soulmate. But it's about not rushing it. It's about not getting too serious too soon. It's about really getting to know that person and what they truly bring to the table in your life and what you can give them in yours. And making sure that it is a balanced relationship and one that fits together. Because this is more of, well, the Eight of Wands, it's kind of like you're shooting all those wands out and one's going to land dead center, but there's all kinds of experiences as you go and you collect those wands. So it's saying the relationships have to be slow and curving and gentle and really understanding the truth of the relationship, of your role, of their role. And this could be, yes, a lover, this could be a soulmate, it could also be a child, it could be a parent, it could be a best friend, it could be somebody in the community or in the work or that is in your close circle, your clan, your tribe, people you love. It could be a sibling. And so it's getting to know each other through these winding paths. Just sitting and having conversations and no real destination to where you're going, to experience the now, the good, the bad, the ugly within those relationships. It's about branching out and meeting new people and seeing what they bring to the table and what you can bring to the table in that relationship. And since we started with the solar eclipse in Cancer, in your 11th house, I would have to say that this is a time to really branch out into right now, going towards the August the 11th, the last solar eclipse. Meeting new people, seeing how you fit in their world, how they fit in your world, what new kind of adventures and opportunities and growth and learning experiences and change that you can step into right now. Widen your circle. It may be that you want to be of service at a senior's home or a shelter, the hospital. It's where you can give yourself, but you're not giving yourself just to one person here. It's a very collective kind of love energy that you are going to be experiencing over the next month. So, don't expect those serious moments. And it's not to say that there's not going to be some beautiful, serious moments in there. It's just more so you need to look at the collective. You need to look at the large group. You need to look at your environment, your community, how you can make a difference, how you can be of service to a friend, a family member, the world, the collective. Where you want to put in some self-sacrifice, your time or your energy or your resources in growing a better world for tomorrow, or growing one person better. But I don't think it's so much one person for you over the next month's energy. I think it's a lot about branching out, about testing the waters of new relationships and new teams and new groups of people, and seeing where you might fit and where you might not fit, and where fear has held you back before. Now's the time to take the step in to see what that path may have to offer you. And don't worry, because when we have the solar eclipse in August, it's a lot about the healing and the ending and the closure. So you may say, you know what, I tried that out and I'm glad I did, because it taught me something about myself and my likes and my dislikes, and it's close to what I'm looking for, but it's not quite right. And open yourself up to a new experience once again. For our spirituality, we have the Tower card. Tower card has been so prominent in these readings. So, go back, check if this is your sun sign, check your moon, check your rising. Okay, see if where and if the Tower showed up again for you. Through meditation, through prayer, through reflection. Tap into that inner warrior of who you are and what has been limiting you, what has been holding you back, where you have thought that you have, what is holding you back. Or it could be people, it could be situations. It could be your own thinking process. It could be the way you perceived something a long time ago and you held it as your truth going forward, and finding out it is now a false truth in your life. It may have kept you safe at one time. It may have served a very good purpose. And it could be just a thought. Like, I have to stay in the background, or I have to be the Good Samaritan, or I have to help these people out, or I have to open up my home for somebody, or I have to. No, you don't have to do anything. You have choice. And this is a time to understand what walls need to come down, where you need to break through, where you need to allow endings and healing, where you need to, flatten out that space and make some new foundations, strong foundations, ones that will be sustainable and strong, and let your light shine, your light break free. Look at the top of that tower is like buckling right off. It's going within and tapping into your true light, your true goals, your true dreams, desires, but your talents and abilities, and understanding what you bring to the table and what kind of change you can bring to the world. Maybe it's your own personal life, but we're all connected. So what you do affects me. We may never know it. The wind that is blowing over that flower in China does appear in Canada or North America or the United States or Mexico as this faint aroma still. Or maybe it's the pollen that lands over here or over there. A happy thought shared with another raises their light, and they share, and they tell you, am I dating myself with that hair commercial? And they tell somebody, and they tell somebody, and the screen just keeps getting bigger of that same person. So we are all connected. So raise your light, let your light out, let your beauty shine. Tap into your talents and abilities. Understand what has been holding you back. Maybe journal it. Health and well-being, the World card. Well, I already told you that the lunar eclipse will be in your health and well-being. So you are turning a page. You are getting ready for a new season when it comes to health and well-being. Maybe you're going into spring. Maybe you're going into fall. Maybe you're going into summer. Maybe you're going into winter. Maybe you've been pushing yourself so hard it's time to unplug for a while, to let things go dormant for a bit, so that you can rejuvenate and really step into some spectacular energy, a higher vibration. Maybe you haven't been taking such good care of yourself. Now is a time to step into what you want to be when it comes to your health and well-being. And, you know, for health and well-being, I've been getting a lot about releasing the stresses in your life. And to be honest, I'm not really getting the stress thing as the most important thing. It's more about the new workout program. It's more about eating healthier. It's more about starting those walks, those cycling trips, those portaging trips, those hiking trips, those mountain climbing trips, those long swims. It's about adding activity to your life. It's about minding what you are eating, what you are feeding the temple, and how that portrays back out in your life as an energy source. It's about getting enough sleep. It's about taking care of you. It's about pampering yourself. It's about allowing yourself time to play, to rejoice in who you are, your abilities, your talents, your hobbies, your creativity, your beauty. And that's when you're going to start to feel like, I can't wait to get out of bed in the morning. I can't wait for the adventure of today to begin. I'm psyched, I'm positive, I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling healthy. I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling competent. I'm feeling courageous. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.